This audio is presented to you by YahshuaServant.com. This is an introduction on the series of articles pertaining to angels marrying daughters of men. I have heard so many twisted views and opinions and doctrinal teachings concerning this business about spirit angels taking flesh and blood women as wives. Where in the scripture are we ever told spirits can marry flesh? Where in scripture does it ever say this union of angel and human woman give birth to giants? Never. Only by twisting Genesis 6 after altering the word and making it say something it does not say. This is a doctrine that is being taught by the lying spirits of old and is being passed down to the Christian community the world over as fact. Read Genesis 6:1-2. When men began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. The Christians are not alone in this false teaching, also supported by some Jewish interpreters of the Torah. This is a teaching that leads to errors and misjudgments in the written word. But most of all, this false teaching essentially calls our Messiah a liar. Please forgive me, Yahshua. Read what the Messiah said in Matthew 22:29-30. And Yahshua answering said to them, "You err, not knowing the Scriptures nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they shall neither marry nor be married, but shall be as the angels of God in heaven." This is repeated in Mark 12:24-25. Please read these verses again and consider not what I say or what someone else may say, but listen to the word, the written word. Let it be your guide. Let's look at it together and consider what is being said, not what some agent of Satan wants it to say. Let us go to the scriptures used to promote this false teaching, this teaching of devils. Where does it say the angels left their spirit bodies and cohabitate with flesh and blood women? It doesn't. How is it that so many teachers today want you to believe that angels married women of flesh, and having done so, they had children, giant children, the Nephilim? And this is why the Creator God destroyed the surface of man's first world. Well, from the slice of biblical verse quoted above, Genesis 6:1-12, it can be seen where such a false doctrine can get started. But how is it those claiming to be versed in the Bible teach such a twisted, perverted view of this scripture? Of course, to a novice, of a casual reader of the Bible, this might appear to say just that. Sons of God took women for wives. Why would perfectly made angels, in appearance, and it is all about appearance in this verse, see women as fair or beautiful? It's rather peculiar to start with. This is a doctrine of devils. There, I said it and I meant it. There is no other answer for so many claiming to be biblical scholars to teach this obvious false doctrine. Yes, even a novice with the simplest of research can uncover this doctrine of devils. Before we really get into this, let us go to the verse these false teachers, use as a quote to settle their argument. We'll just kick the legs right out from underneath them, right off at the start. Believe me, it is easy to disprove what these deceived, blind, false teachers wish the body of the Messiah to believe. Find the book of Jude in the New Testament and read it carefully. We will be going at this false teaching in reverse, using the word of the living God to shine the light of truth on this dark teaching of men as inspired by the spirit of Satan. And make no mistake, Satan is spirit, and he has a spirit he can impart to others. Knowing or unknowingly, they work under his spiritual influence. Read Ephesians 2:2. Don't be afraid to accept Scripture for what it says, and don't be so quick to speculate your opinion about things you know nothing about. This gets a lot of sincere people in trouble. They grab hold of something that tweaks their imagination and won't let it go, even if Scripture says they are wrong. False thinking is to assume everything is possible, and by this ultimate answer, the Word of the living God is made unreliable. And why there's such a diversity in the world today, not accepting the truth that has been written for us, but by twisting it. Please go to the complete and in-depth study on the series of articles, Angels Marrying the Daughters of Men. This uses proof from the Scriptures on this false and corrupt teaching. There is another possibility, however, and I only mention it briefly and only as a possibility. The sons of God were actually the sons of Adam. The end. For this series of articles, please go to YeshuaServant.com or email us at servant@YeshuaServant.com, labeled Angels Marrying Daughters of Men, a 3-part series.